To focus on Shelton, and it's the Shelton Fire Marshal Mike Patti is here this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you all.
We are talking about safety, fire safety, and I was reading something the other day about if you don't have, and it may have been coming through town or may have been one of the fire reader boards, if you don't have a well-designed or well-visible address of your home.
Oh, yeah.
That could add minutes to a response for a phone call for emergency responders.
Exactly. For years, we've always gone by the adage, if we can't find you, we can't help you.
Right.
Sometimes people don't have addresses on the houses, or the address numbers are so small they can't be seen from the street.
Yeah. Especially
Especially at 3 o'clock in the morning, and if there's no porch lights, anything like that. Address numbers are really hard to see. The numbering, not so bad in the city, but in the county areas, can be really inconsistent, especially if you have long driveways where the driveways Y off and then Y off again.
Do they do the driveway numbers or the sidewalk numbers out here? They do in California.
So I've seen
where they
people
paint them on the...
I've seen people that come by and they say, hey, we're doing this in the neighborhood, and if you want to jump in on this.
I haven't seen it much in the city. The fire districts, there's some fire districts in the county that have driveway markers, the plastic markers that are vertical.
Okay.
And they'll put your numbers on those.
Oh, yeah.
And those really help out.
I bet.
But it'll add sometimes 3, 4, 5 minutes to your response time if we can't find you. Another issue that came up, we thought we had this issue pretty well knocked out when E911 came up. When as soon as you picked up the phone number, your name, your address, your phone number all showed up on a board. Well, now a lot of people are getting rid of their home landlines and using cell phones.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Cell phones don't give you that. They'll give you a kind of a general location.
Yeah.
But if you're traveling through the area and somebody says, "Where are you?" Well, I don't know, Or if somebody's calling from your home and they don't know your address, that becomes a
and the caller may
issue.
automatically think, oh, they can tell where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's pinging.
What's the appropriate responses, and what information do you need to have when you call 911?
Well, the first thing that they're going to ask you is, what's your emergency? So obviously what's going on? Is your house on fire? Is somebody sick? Are they not breathing? Is there bleeding involved? And then they want to know your location. Give them, the best thing is give us your address and give us an accurate address. Some people in a panic will, especially if they've just moved, will give them an old address or a wrong address.
Oh, yeah.
We've done that a lot of times as well. Give us an accurate address. They'll, if you can, give us the closest cross street or a close landmark. We're real close to Civic Center.
And I would think try to remain calm, because we've heard some 911s where they're just screaming.
Yep.
And you hear the operator going, "Please calm down."
Yeah.
And as we all know, that's really hard in an emergency situation, especially if it's a loved one. You'll lose all your objectivity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But try to answer the questions. People get really, really impatient when they're going, "Quit asking me these questions and come to my house."
I was just going to ask you that about that.
Yeah, people need to understand as soon as they have an address and a type of an issue, the dispatchers, all dispatchers, no matter where the alarm center is, have already sent it to the appropriate dispatcher, and they're sending the appropriate response. So they can be asking you questions while we're on our way, and they're updating us as we're en route.
So when they ask those questions, it's put into...
So you're prepared when you get there,
Right. Right.
How do you go about getting one of these highly visible address markers?
Contact your local fire department, and if they have a program, they'll tell you what's involved, what it takes, and just go from there. Central Mason's got a program, so just give us a call, 360-426-5533, and our administrative staff will help you through that. I believe North Mason has one. I believe Fire District 4 has one. I believe Fire District 11 has one, and I'm not sure about the other districts.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, okay. And then if somebody wants to do it themselves, are there certain colors, or do you buy certain reflective paint if you're doing it that way, or are there guidelines you say?
What we ask for with the fire code for commercial locations, we ask that the numbers be a minimum of 6 inches tall.
Okay.
With the numbers painted so that they contrast with the background, and that they're posted so they're posted so they're visible by the street fronting the location, so we don't have to look around the corners and see it. You'd be surprised when we find street numbers. Well, it's just behind this bush right here that's grown up over 5 years.
Are real tiny on the mailbox.
Right, and you know, most of the places sell the little numbers that are 4 inches tall or something like that, and they mean well, and those might be real good for in town where they're right up against the curb. But if you live back, you know, where you've got a 50-foot or 100-foot driveway, that's not going to work out really well, especially for us old guys who are trying to see at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So the larger the numbers and the brighter the numbers on a contrasting background, or if you've got a lighthouse, the darker the numbers, just as long as we can see it at night.
And you may be able to answer this, you may not, and if you can't, that's fine. What about painting? What if I go out to the end of my driveway and on the side of the sidewalk there where I've seen other people have like the white background, the black numbering, can I do that as just a citizen, or do I need to get some sort of permit? Or
I don't know that for sure. If you live in the city, you'd probably need to talk to the city before you do that.
Okay.
Because the sidewalks and curbs are city property.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if at the very least, make sure that your house has the proper address numbers. That's going to be a biggest help for us.
And they may know someone that will come out and do it. Because like you said, I've had people ask me before.
Companies will come by.
Oh, we're painting numbers on the
You want
sidewalk?
in on this? We'll be here on Wednesday painting if you want us leave some money or something.
Right.
Or sometimes scout groups or something like that do it as a fundraiser. So there's opportunities out there, but it comes down to whether or not the city will approve it.
We'll have to call the city and find that out.
We'll get. Too bad the fire marshal doesn't know. Anyway,
Thank you very much for that.
we are close to April. It is Sunday.
Uh-huh.
What are we thinking for fire season this summer?
What we're hearing is the outlook for this year's fire season is kind of like last year. We had kind of a late start last year, but once it took off big. We were just talking this morning. Captain Whitehouse is on over at the city this morning as our shift commander, and we were kind of talking about getting things ready to go and what we need to do to be prepared. All of our staff this year are going to be what they call red card certified. So we're taking it real serious this year. So everybody's going to be ready to go so we can be mobilized if we have to go to the east side. DNR is taking a real active stance in making sure that all of our people can meet the standards to fight the wildland fires. It's not a casual go ahead and fight it for an hour or so, then we'll come in and take it, because their staff just may not be available.
Yeah. Central Mason Fire EMS Chief Deputy Mike Patti, also the Shelton Fire Marshal, here today with some good advice on making sure your home is visible in the event of a response from emergency services. Good to see you, Mike.
Good seeing you. Thanks for inviting me.
Have a good one. Happy Easter.
You too. Same to you.